Xbox Game Pass for PC has a new role-playing game out called Wasteland 3. Check out the link below to learn more about Wasteland 3 and Xbox Game Pass for PC. I'm Kerry Stagmer, and we are the Blacksmiths of Baltimore Knife and Sword. We're going to be building some of your favorite things and fantastic objects you've never seen before. This is Man-at-Arms, REFORGED. Today on Man-at-Arms, we're going to be building Hand of the Patriarch from Wasteland 3. We were extremely excited when Xbox Game Pass for PC contacted us about doing this build. Xbox Game Pass for PC is only $4.99 a month, and you can play brand new games when they first come out, like Wasteland 3, Crusader Kings 3, or Halo Infinite. Wasteland 3 is the next installment in the critically acclaimed Wasteland franchise. It's a party-based role-playing game where you're trying to fight as a desert ranger for the future of Colorado and Arizona. Wasteland 3 will feature a deep and engaging story with a brand new dialogue system, all of it fully voiced. I can't wait to play. This will be absolutely massive with two huge right fists mounted to either side. We'll be making it hollow, but we'll be making it out of chromoly, the same thing that we often make our blades out of. We've got Ellen and Derek on it. They're going to create the entire hand sections. We'll mount it to the center mace. It should be incredible when we go to smash things with it. Now that John's drawn the basic form for the octagon, he's going to cut this out using the plasma torch. You can take even a very thick piece of steel, lay it on the table, and it will trace the surface the same way that we have it programmed.
For this build, we're making the Hand of the Patriarch hammer for Wasteland 3. What I'm doing now is prepping the center section for a piece of pipe. And we're going to build an octagonal box around it. And the handle will slide through where this pipe is. I started putting together some of the sides, and we have two more sets to tack weld up. This is just a spacer that I'm using to give me a little bit of a weld gap. The reason we're making this core hollow, if this was solid, this thing would be 350, 400 pounds. So we're going to build it as a box out of 10 gauge steel. Now that it's all tack welded together, we'll double check the fit of everything, and then we'll go ahead and burn the sides in.
So here I have the body for the Hand of the Patriarch. I'm going to go through, blend all these welds together so we can move on to the next step.
So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to swap out the 3-jaw chuck for the 4-jaw. What that's going to allow me to do is grip onto this top plate for the Hand of the Patriarch hammer. Before we can do that, we have to clean off the spindle nose, which currently has chips and dirt on it. So now we're going to get a little groovy in here, and we're going to cut the rings, and we're going to do that using this high-speed steel tool bit in the lathe.
Now that the center section of our Patriarch hammer has all the welds blended, Tanner turned down the decorations in the top, I'm going to weld it on.
We have the top welded on now. I'm going to go ahead and clean up the welds so we can finish with the rest of it.
John and the guys have finished this part of the project. The next thing we will be doing is building 2 hands that come out of either side. Derek and I have made a template out of paper. We will take it over to the plasma cutter, trace it out on a piece of sheet metal, cut out our shapes, come back over here, form it on various stakes to complete our hands.
It's gonna be awesome. Let's do this. Ellen's got these all cut out for me on the plasma. I'm gonna come over here and deburr them and get them ready to hand form. If we try to forge with this edge on it, it'll be a little bit dangerous and we might get cut.
I need some kind of bell-shaped collar. Now, it doesn't need to be structural, so thin sheet metal is fine. I went rummaging out in the field, and we found this old lamp collar. I just need to take the guts out, take the cut-off tool, cut around here, and see how it looks. It's a good fit. Now we'll just go out to the sander, clean the edge up, wire wheel the paint off, and reamer a hole out for the pipe handle.
Derek and Ellen are going to get this material hot and start creating those forms. They're going to work with the fingers on the front of the hand. The plate that they're using is actually kind of a big square, but it's going to have an awful lot of form before it's done, because not only does it have all of the fingers, it's going to have pretty much all of those front knuckles. A lot of shape to it. It's going to be one of the most difficult pieces. After that's done, we'll be able to fit more to it and make it happen. Pretty amazing. This started out as just a flat piece of metal this morning. They've gotten an incredible amount of form. Ellen's really directing, Derek's throwing his weight behind it, and they're creating this shape. Making two is always the trick. I'm glad they decided to do them both at the same time. I think it's going to be a lot easier to keep the forms the same. Pretty excited to see where we are tomorrow.
All right, so this went slightly less terrible than anticipated.
Yeah, this is definitely not in my normal wheelhouse.
We had to run through a couple different methods to figure out what works.
And then I got a little frustrated with Ellen going so slow, so I had to...
And then he went full boy.
I
And
did.
had to smashy things a bunch.
Well, it's a fist. You've got to smash it.
It's true.
Yeah.
All right, so we have all these back pieces forged out. We'll hand it over to John, and John will do all the welding, and we'll get this plate welded on here.
And we've got the palms created as well. And then that'll give us the spacing. Go the other way, lady. So that way we know where the palm will sit in relationship to that, so we can get the bottom parts of the fingers, tips of the fingers done, as well as the thumb.
Making the second set of knuckles. We're using this creasing tool to put our lines in here to make them nice and straight.
And then the next challenge is going to be to get the fingers to come into the palm. This is actually a very complicated shape. We're just problem solving one step at a time.
pieces welded together. The next thing we are going to do is set it up on this round stake, and Derek's gonna spot heat it, and I'm gonna knock it into place so we can get a nice clean line so John can weld it up together. Then we will put on our side panels and get our thumb sorted out. This is obviously a thumb. I swear there's a template that made sense, so we'll see if that makes sense once we form it.
This has actually turned out quite well. I was a little anxious yesterday, but these pieces are all coming together. Now that we got this tacked, we can really get this refined, and then we can move on to the fun parts.
Now that the hands are fully formed, the whole team is working to finalize this epic build. Now we're ready for the demos. Click here to subscribe, or click here to see more episodes. Thanks for watching Man-at-Arms Reforged. We need to know what you want the team to build. Tell us in the comments below what you would like to see.